Hey, what's up, guys? Mediocre day out today. Overcast, been raining on and off all week, really kind of frustrating. But whatever. At least it's not super scalding hot out. I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but I'm standing here in front of this gorgeous piece of machinery. Ronda 1972 Peterbilt 352 heavy wrecker, Holmes 850, and man, just look at it. What a gorgeous piece of machinery. And so, what are we doing today, you ask? Well, we're going to get this cab up, and we're going to get after looking at that steering unit, see about putting a power steering unit on there and see where we can put a hydraulic pump. And tomorrow, all day, we'll be working on getting the booms back together, getting that put on, getting those cables strung out, getting those things cleaned up, and repairing some of the damage on the gears. And we also got a guy coming over. Tomorrow, and he may possibly bring me a tow bar or a sling, if you will. And that'd be super cool, because then that means this truck is close to being able to get stuff done. And there's the booms for it. Had to move them out here because they're taking up space in the shop. I needed to get Betty inside and get it out of the weather. And well, I'm gonna get you set up, and you can watch me go through the painful task of raising the cab. I did buy some fittings and some flow control valves for the hydraulics for that. We are going to add that pump. The fittings came and they were incorrect, so ordered some new fittings. It's supposed to be here Saturday. If that's the case, then we'll get that pump mounted up on there, reroute the hydraulics, and make her happening. So let's get you set up and let's get after it. Okay, let's see. Okay. All right, I like it. We're gonna do a couple things today. We're gonna take this alternator off and get it tested. We're gonna get this fan looked at, because I'm not really sure, but I think that is a clutch fan, but it's not clutching. So we'll get a look at that, see what's up. Bring in here so you can see what I'm looking at. All right, so this fan looks like, now it looks just like a normal fan, but we're gonna try and figure that out and put a clutch fan on it. We'll get this alternator right here, get this alternator out, and I think we'll leave the cab, we'll just leave the cab right up on this thing. I might rope it up for kind of a semi-permanent deal. We'll get the we'll get all these lines pulled up out of the way. We'll get a look at that power steering, or that steering box, and see if that one I have is going to work. I don't know if it will or not, but I would like for it to work. That would be super cool. So we'll get all these hoses lifted up out of here so they can get out of the way, and then we'll take this steering box off and see if we can put a steering box on. I don't know. We'll bring it back. This is kind of one of them awkward places where it's hard to get in there, but yeah. Okay, so we got one more down on the bottom. It looks like it's gonna have to be the open end again. Dang it. Oh, needs to be the 15/16. All right, so it's an interesting spacer. Yeah. Problem is with a ratchet strap, you don't get you only get a foot. This one out of here. Oh.
Deep thought?
Ah,
Deep thought?
yeah. Deep sweat.
That's a muggy one.
Yep, it does suck. Trying to figure out how to make a power steering box from something else work on this truck. It's just not going to be. It's not going to be anything that I can do, probably.
This thing come with power steering?
Nope.
I was gonna say.
Nope. You can't. It's completely unusable. I don't know how they ever got it as far along as they did. I mean, it virtually is the worst thing I've ever tried to steer in my whole life. It had air assist on it at some point in time, but it doesn't work and it's not available. There's somebody that makes a power assist, which is basically the same mediocre working garbage, but it's a few grand. I'm not spending that on this. Seems like it's not very critical either as far as its depth, because this could even be a little sideways, you know. That's the nice thing about it. You can drive it from any angle. Obviously, you have more force on 90-degree angles, right?
Yeah.
But what if we had to? We could dick around with that a little bit. It's probably not as rocket science as making that bracket.
You should just be able to make a plate with a bolt pattern that's whatever's on the frame and come out however many inches that is, and
Yep, and then make a...
use your 1/2-inch plate.
Yep.
Whatever.
Rotate to wherever you need that to be.
Yeah, and tack it
And
together.
just as long as you got a flat spot on the top, or you can just weld a, you know, you could weld a jumper across there for that bracket to go on. Wouldn't even have to be anything special.
Yeah. Use 1/4 inch for that.
Yep.
Or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it would be okay. I'm probably gonna take these, you know, probably take some of those off. I'm gonna get some tools and take those off, you know. There's a couple of these that you know, I might take this one off. And then I might have to figure out which ones these were.
Yeah.
And then, you know, go from there. Oh, here's one. Take this one off.
Wow.
You know, hydraulic lines are a little old. All right, so what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna take this steering box back off. And I'm gonna do it by hand. So what I want you to do is take this bolt out of there. This one right here, and you can get it through that hole. Let me get a hold of this steering box.
That's gotta shimmy back a little bit, I think.
Well, hold on. I'm gonna hook it up to this. Come along, just for shits and gigs.
Yeah.
Okay. Oops, it's no longer connected to the All right, how about that, huh?
Hanging.
Yeah. Shouldn't be hard though. I'll have my master fabricator make me up 2 brackets and then we'll weld them together.
All right, I'm good over here.
You ready? Seems like you might have gotten it.
Found it.
Yep. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this bracket right here. We're gonna make this out of 1/2 inch. And then we're gonna put it on the truck. And we're gonna make this, we're gonna make this shape out of 4 inch. And then we're gonna put it on there and we're gonna weld it to that. And then we're gonna take the bolt pattern from the other steering box and make a plate for that. And then we'll put the steering box up there and we'll tack it on. Make sure it's gonna work. And unless my fabricator comes up with something different, which he's smarter than I am, so that's always possible that's what's gonna happen. Seems like, dude, it seems like a guy could just put some spacers on, screw that bracket, dude. Like seriously, there's no bracket on that other frame. Let's just drill those holes for the new one right in the chassis.
Just have long.
Yeah, because
You gotta mount the throttle thing somewhere.
well, we'll make a bracket separate for that. The only thing that troubles me is I think that the bolt hole would be in this range, not back here. But it would be cool if it was right here. But it's not going to be. It's going to be way further forward.
Yeah, it is. You just go over to the
So what we could do, we could eyeball that frame and pop a hole in there and put the bolt and the spacer in this one, and it would hold a lot better than that other one. You know what I mean? Like let's say that we're going to put the bolt right here. Right here. So if, let's say we drilled that and we put this size bolt in there. I mean, we'll be eyeballing, we won't be doing much measuring. But once we get this in, we can tighten it up and center this with a bolt. And then we can shoot a hole through that. I honestly do think it's going to work. And I think this, because this was like 3 inches down, I think that's going to work perfectly. as well.
Yeah. How far off the frame does it need to be?
Just enough that this is clear. Yeah. So probably like that.
Right there somewhere.
So if you want to measure that
Well,
with the tape measure we don't have out here,
yeah.
should be a bunch of them on the red cart. When I say should, I mean should. It fits good. It just needs to be the right length, but it fits perfect on that spot.
That's
Three and a half. I bet we're gonna need a lot more than 3.5. All right, can you work around me, you think? I think like right there.
Place to stick my
4.5.
4.5.
Yep. Yep. I'm gonna say 4.5. How long are these?
2.5.
Of course.
Yeah.
Couldn't just put 2 of them in there.
Well, you could. You should be sticking out more.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that matters either. I honestly don't think it matters. Obviously, the further away from the frame, the more torsional load is going to be on it, right?
Yeah. You said 4.5, and that would be 5.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be a quick way to know what you need.
Yeah. Let's see. Man, I wish I had some tools. I have a piece of aluminum that size, about this long, that a guy could just run a drill, put it in the lathe, run a drill down it, cut it off, 4.5, 2 of them, bing, bang, boom, Bob's your uncle. I ain't got no tools. Why don't you have me a lathe over here so that you can come over and do machine work on the weekends and stuff? Well, because I don't have any space for a lathe. All right, so battery's dead on the mic. Just want to bring you in here, kind of show you what we're doing. We've got this. We got this power steering unit. We made one hole in the frame, and we kind of eyeballed where we want that to be, and we marked the next hole. And so this is just for now, but we're going to be spacing it about 4.5 inches off the frame. We're going to have new spacers made. There'll be 2 of them, a bolt here and a bolt down there. And then there's a bolt here that this thing is going to be roughly right here, which almost lines up with this bolt. Now I did want to get this bolt lined up, but I was unable to use the existing bolt hole and have this one line up perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to push this down a little ways, about there. We're going to make a bracket that spans these 2 bolts and then comes over and has a nut welded in it, and so it'll be a spacer / bracket for the front of this. And that's just to help most of the load on a power steering box, or on a gearbox, a steering gearbox. This thing is torsional, right? Because as you turn the wheel, it applies force forward and backwards, which causes this to want to rotate. So we're using 3/4 inch bolts. This is exactly how it was bolted on the 2005 Volvo that we got it off of. Spacers on 3 bolts. And so that's what we're going to do here. We're going to do it exactly the same way. We're going to reposition the pitman arm straight up and down. There should be plenty of room in there with it 4.5 inches out. It should give us 1/4 inch between the pitman arm and the bolts. And then we're going to get a new, it slips my mind, but we're going to do one of those. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that off. I'm going to weasel the drill back up in there and punch one more 3/4 inch hole. Then we're going to be on the hunt for 5 inch, or for an inch longer, 1.5 longer bolts. And we'll get those spacers made and get those bolted in, and then we'll have my fabricating guy make me a spacer that connects those 2 bolt holes with that bolt hole, and it'll be a substantial bracket. And then we've already looked at the way this is going to happen. We need to go and get the proper yoke. This yoke is on that Volvo, so we'll take that yoke off, and we'll take this thing apart, clean it up, make it look nice again, and then this should be fine. I think this is down far enough to where it'll be fine. But the main thing to get done now is to get this thing back off, plunge one more hole in, and then go find the bolts and get those spacers made and get those bolted on with the 2 spacers so that my fab guy can fab me up a quick bracket. He'll probably be able to do that. He'll probably be able to do that while he's here. He might not have to go anywhere and do it, but he might be able to just drill up some holes and shoot that in there, and that'd be pretty cool. We'll get that thing mounted up, get that pitman arm where it belongs, get that new drag link, and I don't think it's a drag link. It's not a drag link. It's a, yeah, can't think of it. But anyway, we'll bring it back.